Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, and on today's video I'm going to teach you how to make a tote bag. And with me I have measurements. I'm going to be doing a little bit of explaining to show you how we are going to go about drafting and stitching our tote bag. So my tote bag measurement is going to be of a rectangular shape, whereby I'm going to have 18 inches in width and 15 inches in length. I repeat, 18 inches width and 15 inches of the length. And remember, I have put my seam allowance in, so I don't need to add seam allowance. Everything is included in the 18 and 15 inches. So as you can see here, I've drawn some squares. As you can see, I've drawn some squares. I hope you can see well. I've drawn some squares here and here. And the secret is, these squares, when we cut the fabric, we are going to dispose them. We won't need them, but we'll need the shape that is going to be left. I'm going to be explaining to you. So the secret is, when you draw this square, don't draw it like a rectangle. You know, a rectangle, the sides are not equal, but for a square, all sides are equal. So if you decide to get your square to be 5 inches by, don't do 5 and then here do 6. Please make sure if it is 5 inches, it is 5 inches on this side, 5 inches on this side. As you can see, mine is 3 inches, 3 inches, and it's on both sides. This is going to be the base of the bag. This is going to be the base of the bag. So when you remove these measurements, the measurement from here to here reduces from 18 to 12. This measurement, it's going to come automatically. I just saw it better for me to write, so that for understanding purposes. And then also the measurement from here to here reduces. Remember that the measurement from here to here was 15. So if we remove these 3, it becomes 12. So I just saw it important to let you know it's going to reduce. So I hope I've explained well. So we'll go back. I'm going to show you pieces of fabric that now I cut using these measurements. I hope you understand what I'm saying. And in my piece of paper, assume the measurements are in inches. Don't look at my paper and think it's so small you're going to use centimeter. No, use the measurement in inches. And another point to note, when you're doing this, when you're doing a tote bag, remember these are my measurements. You can do your own measurements. You can make your own bigger and better tote bags than what I am doing. The secret is, remember this part, make it a square. If you make a bigger tote bag, I know this place you'll need to add some, maybe use 3.5 by 3.5. Remember to keep it a square. All sides should be equal. That's the only secret. But the other measurements you can alter. You can alter your width from maybe 18 to 20, and you can also alter your height from maybe 15 to something like 17, or whatever bag you want to make. How big you want it to be, it's now upon you and what you want to do with your bag. Mine, I'm just showing you the basics. So as for the handles, the length of my handle will be 18 inches. And the width of my handle will be half. This is half. I know it looks like 1 and 2. No, it's not 1 and 2. It is a ½ inch. I love handles that are quite not so big. And in lengthwise, you can also measure your handles where you want your bag to start. Don't use this. This is I can either choose it to be small or big. The measurements, as I told you, they are not standard. Use what you have, use what you want to do. So I'm going to show you the pieces of fabric that we'll need and how I came about them. And these are the measurements that I used to cut the fabric. So as I told you, I'm going to show you some of the things that I need. So these are my fabrics. This is they have been cut. The width is 18. These are my handles, as I told you. By the way, I think I'll make a video showing you how to make handles. These are my handles, and as I told you, I don't like them, so you can imagine when they are this big and it is one handle, it's so uncomfortable. I love them small, but these are the handles I already made. And then this is my fabric. I already lined it, and I used this. It's called gum material or gum stay, something of the sort. Gum stay, gum material, I can't quite remember the name. When I remember, I'll tell you what we call it here in Kenya, but something of the sort. And this is gum material. It's what I've ironed on my fabric. And remember, when I'm cutting, I'll need two pieces for the front and for the back. I'll need 2 pieces. And remember, all I have lined them because my fabric is not, I want it to have some body, some toughness, I just want it to look, there's a look I want to achieve. But remember, when you're using leather, you don't need to use gum material. But when you're using a fabric that is light and you want to make it more rough, is it the right word? When you want to make it more, I don't know what word to use, but you can iron your gum material on your fabric. So I have the 2 pieces, the front and the back, and I also have the lining. This is my lining. Also, I have it in 2 pieces. The front, the lining, do we have a front and back? You just know I have 2 pieces of the lining. And as I remember telling you, remember when I told you this? Okay, I have drawn lines to show you where I'm going to be stitching, because I'm going to be stitching at 1/2 inch. I'm going to be leaving 1/2 inch. And then remember this part that I told you, it's 3 by 3. I'm going to be cutting it off. And we are going to stitch, and I'm going to show you what you're going to do next. So please follow. So this is how it is going to look like when you cut off the squared part, this part and this part. So what you're going to do, what you do to your fabric, please repeat the same process to your lining. Whatever you do to this part, also repeat the same process to your lining. So let's stitch. You see, as I measure, this part is 3 inches and this other part is 3 inches, as you can see, 3 inches by 3 inches. So let us stitch. So I'm going to start with this place. Just going to fold. Please repeat the same to the other side. So once you're done with the other side, I've stitched here, and then I've done the same thing to this other side. I hope you can see well. So I'm going to stitch the down part, this down part. I'm just going to stitch it, the down part. So we are stitching the down part, and please, I forgot to mention this. When you're stitching, make sure your right sides are touching each other. We are stitching on the wrong side, and we are stitching the down part fasten. So when you're done stitching, I know you're wondering, what are we going to do to these sides? This is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to do. Just do this. I hope you've seen. Please follow this. It's like this. I'm opening up this, and then this line by this line should be touching. You see this, and then I'm going to stitch here. You see, they are equal. You see, they are equal. That is what a square does. If you do a rectangle, it will be a messy situation. So we are just going to stitch this side. Let me align it well. And remember, we are stitching it at half an inch. Half an inch. You can draw or you can mark your machine, as you can see mine. And by the way, open your seams. Open your seams. This is very important. By the way, let me tell you something. You should iron first your seams before you stitch. Iron your seams open before you stitch. Iron your seams first before you stitch. As I said, please iron your seams. Don't do what I just did and then iron later. Please iron your seams. It makes your work look neat. And I think I didn't iron because this is just a sample, but I'm going to iron. But it's going to be difficult. I wish I ironed before I did all this, but please iron your seams. This is the result. As you can see, our bag. Let us stitch and see. So the next step, we are going to place the handles. And what you're going to do is, we are going to look for the center of this bag. Just check for the center of the bag. So once I've gotten the center of my bag where I have clipped this small V, you see, this is the center of the bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure where I'm going to be placing my handle. So I've seen some people do maybe 3 inches, but today let me use 2.5 inches. I'm just going to measure 2.5, and this other side 2.5. What does it make? 5 inches. And then now this is going to be 2.5, as you can see, and the other side is 2.5. As I said, the measurements can be altered. It's not a must. So these are my handles. With my handles, I have no right side, I have no wrong side. So for those that use handles that have, you see those leather handles that have the right side and the wrong side, those the ones that you buy, they are already made for you. What you do, we are going to assume this is my wrong side. So we are assuming this is my wrong side. So I'm going to take my bag. Please remember to mark on your right side where you want the 3 inches where you measured. No, we did 2.5. And as I said, you can also alter. The measurements are not fixed. You can use your own. So I've marked on the right side. This is the right side. And this is the wrong side of my handle. So what I'm going to do is, I have just turned my bag to the right side so that we can see well. And by the way, you remember this part that we were joining? Let me show you how the lines, you see how they meet? You see how neat that is? I don't know if you can see the other line here. You see how well they meet. This is the base of the bag. So let me explain to you about the handle part. So what I'm going to do is, this is the wrong side of my handle. So what I'm going to do is, I can't see my small clips. This is the wrong side. What you do, as you can see, we labeled, this is the wrong side. We are going to do the right side of the bag touching the right side of the handle. The right side of the bag touching the right side of the handle. This is what I mean. We marked here. I'm going just to pin this here. And I don't know where my small clips are. You're going to use whatever I have, whatever I can see close to me. Those are my big clips, don't mind them. And then remember to make it straight. You see, the wrong side, we are touching the right sides together. This is the other part. We are going to do this. Let me explain to you why. Because when you carry the bag now, this part is going to be, this is the wrong part, the wrong side. It's going to be in. And the right side is going to be out. I hope you've understood. So I'm going to clip the other side, and then we are going to make small stitches to just hold these handles together before now we join the lining to the bag. Remember, I am stitching at the wrong side of the handle, and the right side of the handle, this right side, is touching the right side of the fabric. Please remember that. So I'm just going to stitch on top here, because I'm going to show you how we are going to secure the handles again with the lining. So I'm just stitching to hold the handle in place. Just that. So repeat the same process for the other side of the bag, and remember when you're stitching to move this part away so that you don't tamper with it, because you only need the front side of the bag. We do it on itself, and then we're going to repeat the same process for the back side of the bag. So we are done with the handles, and as you can see, our bag is coming through. So I'm going to repeat the same process without the handles to the lining, and then we are going to attach it. The same process, but without the handles, and then we are going to attach the lining. I'm going to show you how to. So as you can see, I did the same to the lining, but the lining has no handles. So I'm going to show you how we are going to insert the lining inside the bag. So what you're going to do is, this is the, let me show you well. So this is the lining, and what you're going to do, this is the right side of the lining, and the right side of the fabric are going to be put together. I'm going to demonstrate. So, and by the way, for the lining, I left some space. This is the base. This is the base down here. I left some space where we are going to overturn our bag. I'm going to show you. So we are going to make the right side of the lining with the right side of the bag. Let me show you. I'm just going to put my bag inside. Then I'm going to put it nicely. As you can see, it fits very well. But the handles, remember, don't let them stay outside. Put them in the middle here, inside. You see? put them inside in the middle that way. So when I'm stitching, this is what I'm going to stitch here. This is where I'm going to stitch with the lining. And remember, this is the right side of the lining and the right side of the fabric. As you can see, this is the wrong side. I'm going to be stitching. These are the side seams. I'm clipping with my clipper the side seam of the bag. I want them to touch each other, and I'm going to be stitching with my seams open. Remember, I told you to iron. Remember, I'm using half an inch. I'm going to stitch all round. So here is where the handle is. I'm going to just go back to make it more. So after you're done stitching all around, we are going to remove the bag from the space we left here, and we are going to just fold it and remove it from here. After you're done removing, you see, I'm going to stitch this opening and I'm going to close it. I'm going to close it, and then I'm going to show you what you're going to do next. So I'm just going to, I'm done stitching this part here. As you can see, I've closed, and I'm going to put the lining inside, and then after that I'm going to be ironing. You see, our handles, we have them on the right side. So if you want, please iron. And we are just going to be, I'm just clipping because I want to do a top stitch over here. I'm going to do a top stitch. I'm just doing a top stitch. To avoid the lining being seen. So as you can see, this is the result. Let me try and put something in our bag for us to see. Let me adjust the camera. So this is our bag. As you can see, look at how beautiful that bag is. This is our bag. And you can also choose to do a double stitch like I did in another bag. Let me show you. In this one I just did one, but as you can see in this one I did this one, then this one. And by the way, you can make your bag to have different designs. You can mix any. Remember, this is a concept that I'm giving you, the design, and you be creative. What I'm giving you is the concept. You be creative with your bags. Create something new, something nice, something great. And this is our bag. See how beautiful that is. This is our bag. Look at the base. This is our bag. I just want you to see it well. This is our bag with the handles. As you can see, with the handles. This is our bag. And by the way, in some other bags, let me show you, you can put a base. You see, like this one, there are so many inside. No, let me show you the small one. You see, you can alter, you can do designs that are different. And in this small one, I put some base. You see, there's a base, so you can also put a base in your bag, but the one we did today doesn't have. But remember, you can put one inside. It's in the inside. It's between the inside and the bag. So thank you very much for watching, and let's meet on our next video. And please subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.